Should you require an upfront deposit or perhaps even payment in full? Or is it okay just to wait until after the service is done and you send them an invoice and they send you a payment?
If you're thinking about starting a pressure washing business, but you want to learn more about the equipment, mixing chemicals, how to clean every surface on a residential job site, property protection, and much, much more, check out the How to Wash course. It'll be the first link in the comment section and the description.
It sucks to be broke, and it sucks even more when you're starting your business. And unfortunately, that's how most small businesses start. They're on a budget, they're relying so heavily on every single job just to cover the cost. And I'm not talking about all the costs it takes to run a business. I'm talking about the cost to get just that one job done. And what made me think about this was in a post that I saw on one of these online groups where this guy was asking for recommendations on a specific chemical he needed to remove a specific type of stain. People were offering multiple suggestions on various products, and he said that he didn't have enough money to buy any of those chemicals, but he was just looking for a cheaper route to go. And this really floored me, and I was thinking to myself, how can somebody start a business, offer services, and then not be able to provide those services because they don't have the bare minimum things to get the job done in a professional way, providing superior results to the customer? And then I have to put myself in their shoes, somebody that's just starting out, and remember how hard it is when you're first starting things out, right? So in today's video, I'm going to give you guys 3 tips for getting paid before you even start the job. Now, at this point in my business, I don't really need to do this. I don't want to do this, but there is a time and a place to ask for a deposit, which is one of the reasons that we've included this as a new feature in the latest update of Quote IQ. You now have the ability to request deposits from your customers when you send your initial estimate. This new feature allows the customer to accept or deny, as well as put down a deposit upon acceptance of your proposal, which is really cool. Now, a bunch of updates like this, as well as our new Street View on our measuring tool, which allows you not only to measure everything, but allows you to see everything you need to quote with accuracy and efficiency. So now let's talk about asking for the deposits. Now, when you're a small business owner, or at least in most cases, not only are you the one providing the service, but you also have to send the invoices, and you're the guy who has to collect money in order to get paid. It's a lot different than working for somebody else because you know you're going to get that paycheck on Friday, even if your boss or the company you work for hasn't been paid yet. If you haven't had to deal with chasing people down for money in the past, you're most likely going to have to do that at some point if you're running your own business. And I promise you, it's not fun. It can be difficult. It can be frustrating. And sometimes it can even be a little bit uncomfortable because we really don't want to alienate any customers, and we don't want to give them anything negative to say in a review or to friends or family, because perception is reality regardless of the scenario, right? So one common solution a lot of guys use to ensure that they get paid in full and on time is to require an upfront deposit from customers. Is this something that you currently do? If not, should you be? If so, when is a deposit required? How much should you ask for? And those are some of the things that we're going to talk about today. So when should you ask for a deposit? If you think about it, most businesses require payment before you can use their products or services. At McDonald's, when you drive up to the drive-thru, you pay at the first drive-thru window, and then you drive to the second little window, and that's when you get your food. At the movie theater, you buy your ticket at the window, and then you watch the movie. When you go to the grocery store, you don't just fill up your cart and leave. You have to pay the cashier before you can take all of your stuff with you. Order something on Amazon and your account gets charged prior to the order being shipped. Order something from the resource page and you're going to have to pay before you get access to our amazing training courses and our marketing or our business assets, okay? You can, however, use Quote IQ for free to keep track of your customers, send estimates, invoices, and collect payments, but you have to pay in advance to use the premium or the platinum versions. So go download that from the Apple or the Google Play Store. Okay, in most of the previously mentioned situations, there is a physical good, something that is tangible, changing hands, right? But things get slightly more complicated when a service is involved. Plenty of businesses, like my own, don't require a deposit. Think about it. You don't pay your landscaper before he cuts your grass and prunes your bushes. A chiropractor doesn't require payment before he gives you an adjustment and cracks your back. The mechanic doesn't invoice you before he fixes your car. So why should you? Okay, clearly there are situations where a payment is required in full prior to services being rendered, as well as times when a payment isn't expected until after the work is done. And of course, sometimes a deposit is requested and required. The question is, where do you fall on this spectrum? Should you require an upfront deposit or perhaps even payment in full? Or is it okay just to wait until after the service is done and you send them an invoice and they send you a payment? That's what we do, and it works great. The answer to this question for everybody isn't as straightforward, but there are some things that can help you determine what's best for your business. The number one thing to consider is recourse. When you think about all the businesses and service providers that don't require upfront payments, you'll see that most of them have a good amount of recourse. Take the landscaper. They're on your property and they can refuse to leave, right? Until they're paid. They also know where you live and can come back over and over until you pay them. I've been there and I've done that and it's not fun, but what real recourse is there? What's he going to do? Dump the grass clippings or the bush trimmings back on the property? Is a pressure washer going to spray the mildew back on the clean house? No. And then there's the chiropractor. He's got all your information, plenty of paperwork to back up the payment claims. So there's that. The mechanic actually has your car in his possession. So if you don't pay, you're not giving your car back. And your car is probably worth a lot more than the services performed. At the end of the day, it all comes back to what recourse you have. When considering whether or not you need to ask for upfront payment, think about the amount of recourse you have and whether that alone is enough to keep your customers honest. If the answer is no, then an upfront deposit or even payment in full is a smart idea. But if you're having issues with customers who you feel might try to shit you out of your money, find new customers. Premium customers pay premium prices, and you will very seldom have issues of non-payment with people that have money. So here are the 3 tips for asking for a deposit, because if you've never done it before, asking for a payment up front might feel a little strange. Sometimes it's necessary though. Honestly, I can only count on one hand the number of times I've actually required a deposit, and it was on massive commercial jobs that were going to require our entire team to be on the job for weeks at a time. Now, I would think that deposits on residential jobs wouldn't be necessary for very long when first starting out. And I also think that most residential customers are going to be put off or unwilling to pay fully in advance for a service or even a deposit for something that's intangible. At least I know I would never pay someone upfront for a service being provided at my house. I also think that you can limit your customer base because of that fact. But if needed, there are a few tips that I'm going to tell you right now that can help you get that deposit. So number 1 is you got to prove yourself. The last thing a customer wants to do is get screwed out of their money. If you've got a rinky-dink website that has, just looks like crap, no internet presence, and a bunch of negative reviews, it's really unlikely that anyone is going to pay you up front. The best thing that you can do, not only for this situation, but for the success of your business long term, is spend time on your marketing and building your brand, be able to produce testimonials and show reviews, collect referrals, work on your SEO daily, bolster your web presence, gain credibility there first, and then build on that. Number 2 is reinforced payments. We all know that people respond to both positive and negative reinforcement. And if you get this, you might consider offering a slight discount for early payment or charging a penalty for a late payment. These are things that you can have included in your customer contract on the resource page. It's available, and also present to the customer when you propose a deposit or a prepayment. Some people may be more willing to pay in advance if they get something in return, like a discount. So something to think about. Now, the last thing is something that I absolutely hate, and I've worked really hard to avoid, and I basically automated it out of my business entirely. But in some situations, it really does help, and that is just pick up the phone. Now, it is not uncommon at all if I have zero interaction with a customer, no personal interaction, meaning a telephone conversation or an in-person conversation with any of my customers. And in all reality, almost all businesses have kind of gone this route, utilizing emails and text messages for most communication. It's fast, it's efficient, and it's a hell of a lot more convenient. But picking up the phone or meeting a customer in person can be really beneficial. It helps to establish trust, and it puts that customer more at ease. Putting a face with a name, it can really go a long way. And the last thing that I'm going to leave you with today, and something that I hope will help you right now and for years to come, and that is to have confidence in yourself. Be confident in your ability. Be confident in your business. And be confident in the services that you are providing. Confidence is something you can't put a price on. When you work for yourself, you often are the only one who believes in what you're doing. And whether you're trying to close a job, collect payments, your confidence speaks louder than anything else. There is absolutely no room for being timid or being weak when it comes to running a business, especially when it comes to collecting payments. If a customer senses even the slightest trace of weakness, they know that they're going to have the upper hand, and they're going to probably try to take advantage of you if they're that type of person. But firmly and confidently asking for an upfront deposit, it's going to show some customers that you mean business, and if you implement some of the things that we talked about in this video today, it's going to help you a lot. And don't forget to download Quote IQ. It is the best tool for your business. Like we talked about, the estimates, the invoicing, collecting payment, all the great features like the hourly rate calculator, as well as the mapping features with all the new updates like the Street View. Really cool stuff. Definitely check that out. Not only do you get a great tool for your business, but all premium and platinum subscribers are entered in our monthly giveaways. This month, we are giving away another pressure washing business starter kit, 4 gallon per minute pressure washer from Southeast Soft Wash, 20-inch surface cleaner, and 100 foot of high pressure hose. So you might want to check that out. Also, the resource page where you can get the best training in the industry, as well as some pretty unbelievable marketing assets and business tools that are going to help your business grow. So that is it for today's video. Hope you guys enjoyed it, and have a great day.
Hands down the best investment.
Absolutely mind-blowing, and all the information is absolutely fantastic.
Progressively, acquired what I needed and got the skills I needed in detailing, whereas with this, I'm brand new for the most part.
There's a lot of things that I can implement that you guys have gone over here today.
What does it do? You're not doing anything. It's up there, it's doing its thing. We just got to get a light coat. It's kind of a less is more kind of deal.
I ain't playing fair, I'm playing for the most. And I'm the only person in this industry who's probably ever going to say that to you, but everybody's doing it.